I suppose in all of the time, and I know you haven't been with Adobe for a hugely long time, but I think you've certainly been within this space for a long while. What has sort of been a primary lesson you've learned around creating these sorts of forward-looking visions and strategies? You know, what lessons have you learned, mistakes that you've made that you really feel would help others to learn from?
Absolutely. I think one of the things that we always learn from is that we have an idea. I think in our space, we have an idea of how things may be perceived when they go live with the people, and then there's actually how it's perceived. And sometimes our intention or how we thought something might land, it doesn't land that way. Yeah. And the biggest thing that we can do is quickly learn from that and see if we need to very quickly pivot something. So I have lots of great examples. One is that we started splitting out. This is a spatial one for all the space nerds out there. We started splitting out the idea of kind of a digital focus room versus a non-digital focus room. And so these two rooms are exactly the same size. They're both designed for one person. And we, without handing a manual to all the employees about how to use it, said this one's tech enabled and you can do anything you want. You can dial into a video conference. And the other one has no tech in it. And it's just to kind of chill out and to recenter or quietly whiteboard in an analog space. But we treated them externally exactly the same way and just expected everyone to know how to use it. And what ended up happening was the people were trying to desperately find a video booth or something so they could connect to a call, which happens all the time. And they walk into a room that has no technology in it and no way, and they're madly running around, dashing around the space, trying to find a room that will actually do what they need it to do. And so I think one of the learnings from that is that we were trying to design around an understanding of human behavior, and that was too complex. And ultimately, people shouldn't need a user manual to navigate a space. And so one of the things that we often test with all of our experiments is don't tell them why you designed it. Don't tell them what it's for. See if they use it in a way that you thought they were going to, or see if they have like a ton of negative feedback about not understanding why this is even here and what I'm supposed to do with it. And we always tend to think that because there's so many people, right? So engineering behavior isn't possible at our scale within the workplace. So things need to be really intuitive, simple, quick, easy, and they need to support the work mode that people are trying to get into, whether they're trying to be collaborative, or they're trying to find some alone time, or they're trying to dash onto a video call. So ultimately, I think we learned that there's only so much human behavioral engineering we can do, and the better way is for us to put something out there, see how people actually use it, and design for the behaviors that they're exhibiting, as opposed to telling them how to behave.
And in the same vein of what we've already talked about today about, what does digital transformation mean? What does leadership mean? It's about taking those learnings and adapting quickly rather than being stubborn and letting it run its course.
Right, exactly.
I have to say, I sort of phased out a little bit during those answers, because in my head, I was just imagining I suppose, a mixture of fun and frustration of the quantitative and qualitative data that you would have been analyzing of the people madly trying to run between rooms to just try and find one they could actually have a video conference in. Because of
course, I think too, there's this whole, sometimes we see a lot of really beautiful sofas in the open plan. They look beautiful in photographs. Nobody sits in them. So I tend to call them the sad lounge. Or like, oh, it's another sad lounge that looks like beautiful in a picture, but it's right next to a desk. So that doesn't work.
Exactly.
So note to architects and designers out there, but just make sure that the things you're specifying actually work for human behavior and not for your portfolio.